Good morning, Thailand. My name is Alex, and I have some news updates from around the land of smiles for you today, this Thursday, August 22nd. Now, today we'll be talking about an interesting story coming out of the Philippines using some intrigue with a local mayor there who has gone missing and is on the lam. We'll also be talking about a mysterious ghost delivery, some misbehaving tourists, and a little bit of a fight on Bangla Road, and, of course, snakes and toilets. Let's get into it. Our very first story is a snake has bitten a Thai man in his toilet, causing a panic. That's right, a Thai man had a terrifying experience when a snake hiding in his toilet bit him where? On the testicles. The incident occurred on August 19th when he was using the bathroom and felt a sharp pain. In shock, he discovered a large snake attached to him and managed to remove it by hitting it repeatedly with a toilet brush, the only weapon available. Despite the scare, the snake was non-venomous and doctors assured him a full recovery, thank God. The story quickly went viral on social media. Okay. This is the nightmare, right? This is everybody's nightmare. And also part of the story, the man flushed the toilet before getting on there as part of his routine in the rainy season here. The lesson to be learned, everybody, if you are on the ground floor in a rural area in Thailand, you have got to be extremely cautious when you're going to the toilet. This is certainly not the first time we've covered this kind of story, and I don't think it will be the last. My God. What a shock, man. It's middle of the night, you sit down to relieve yourself, and all of a sudden, gah! You've got a snake latched on to your most private regions. What would you do in that situation? Please let me know, guys, in the comments. Heart goes out to that man. All right, now moving on to our next story, we're going to be heading over to Phuket. Now, violence has erupted between Thai women and Kuwaiti tourists on Bangla Road. A physical altercation between Thai women and Kuwaiti tourists on Phuket's Soi Bangla has sparked outrage online. The incident, captured on video and shared by a local Facebook page, shows a confrontation escalating into violence. Thai netizens criticize Patong police for their lack of action, claiming such incidents are frequent and poorly managed. The fight reportedly began when a Thai woman poured alcohol on a Kuwaiti woman in an entertainment venue. Despite the altercation, police have yet to clarify the legal consequences for those involved. Come on. You're on Bangla Road. You're going to those shows. Alcohol is a big part of that. So obviously that typically does not jive with traditional Muslim values, haram, as they say. But when in Rome, come on, dude, you got to know what kind of show you're at and understand what the local customs are. At the same time, there should be maybe a little bit more consent from the performers in Bangla. I have certainly been fondled and accosted without so much of a whiff of consent before. So, what has your experience been with these party nights, these party streets, particularly Bangla Road in Phuket? Let me know what you think in the comments. All right, now, moving on to our next story. We have a gun and knife brawl between school kids in East Pattaya. Violence erupted in East Pattaya as students from a public and private school engaged in brutal confrontations, some armed with guns, knives, and sticks. The clashes, which have occurred multiple times since mid-July, escalated when public school students approached the rival school with a gun, causing panic and injuring an 11-year-old girl. The situation intensified as private school students armed themselves in retaliation. Locals are alarmed by the frequency and severity of these incidents and are calling for urgent intervention from school authorities to prevent further violence. So we're going to blur out most of that because that's violence with children over there. And it seems to be a frequent thing. Weird. It seems to be school territorial disputes. Not entirely sure what's going on, but the machismo and bravado of teenagers is really showing. It's rearing its ugly head, I guess we could say. And how are these kids getting a hold of guns? That's another question that needs to be answered as well. So hopefully the school authorities, like right now, one 11-year-old girl, probably not involved in this at all, being injured, that's tragic enough, but this has the makings to escalate into something that's even worse. So hopefully the school authorities are able to identify the kids that are involved and correct this nasty behavior, because it can only get worse, I think, heading into the future. Anyways, moving on to our next story, another tale of assault. Now, a delivery worker has been assaulted by a homeowner in Rayong. A Thai delivery worker named Songpon is seeking justice after being assaulted by a homeowner in Rayong, resulting in a broken arm. The incident occurred on August 18th when Songpon delivered a parcel which was rejected by the homeowner's aunt. The homeowner, identified as Nong, assaulted Songpon with a wooden stick and attempted to attack his pregnant wife. The assault was captured on video, revealing Nong's aggressive behavior, allegedly under the influence of alcohol. Surprise, surprise. Songpon's wife plans to pursue legal action. Police are investigating and will summon both parties when Songpon's condition improves. Come on, dude. You can't be getting drunk beating up the delivery guy driver. That's just a general no-no. Fortunately, this incident was caught on tape, so there is evidence of the bad behavior. Otherwise, they could just deny it and say, what are you talking about? You got to remember, everybody, there are cell phones on every single person in the world at this point, so your bad behavior can be caught, and you will be named and shamed like you have just been, this time Nong. So we'll see how the authorities mediate this situation and what kind of consequences he will be facing for those drunken actions. What's up with people, man? I don't know. Many different kinds of drunk. Some people get angry. Fortunately, last night, we saw plenty of people imbibing at our office party. No fists were thrown. It's easy enough to get along, guys, so control yourselves. All right, moving on. We have some political celebrity news, I guess. Now, the newly anointed Thai Prime Minister Paetongtarn Shinawatra celebrated her birthday with a party with her fellow MPs. Now, Pheu Thai's 141 MPs gathered to celebrate Prime Minister Paetongtarn Shinawatra's 38th birthday and honor her predecessor, Sreta Thavisin. The event, held at the party's headquarters, featured a birthday cake adorned with a photo of Paetongtarn receiving the royal command for her appointment as Thailand's 31st Prime Minister. The celebration was filled with camaraderie as MPs sang for their leader. During the meeting, party members praised Sreta for his dedication and achievements, with Sreta pledging continued support for Paetongtarn and the party. Political unity. Thavisin was barely in power, I think just under a year, if I believe my math is correct. And paving the way for the dynasty to take over again with the Shinawatras. The Pheu Thai party is united behind their leader, as you can see from the celebrations there. And reaching her 38th birthday, she is still the youngest prime minister to ever grace the office. Anyways, happy birthday, Paetongtarn. Hopefully she can do a good job leading Thailand into the future. Let me know what you think about her impending reign. All right. Parabu, thank you for the comments. Love to listen to your live news. Cheers for that. Thank you for joining us. Jesse Dawson asks, was it a female or male snake? I missed that detail in the news story. Maybe you can check the article on thetiger.com to get the final answer on that one. Moving on to our final Thai story. Now we have a bit of the supernatural gracing us today. A ghostly delivery order startles a Thai rider. A Thai food delivery rider, Kun Sutinai, shared a mysterious experience where he received an order from a deceased police officer. The incident occurred on August 19th when Sutinai was asked to deliver water and coffee to the Pakret police station in Nonthaburi. Upon arrival, officers denied placing the order. Later, Sutinai discovered that the officer who supposedly placed the order had died months earlier. This wasn't the first time such an order was made. Although unsure if it was a ghostly encounter or a prank, Sutinai made merit for the deceased to find peace of mind. Creepy. I don't know, man. So, it could have been a prank. Weird prank, I would say, too. Just like, hey, deliver some water, deliver some coffee. Psych. Just joking. So I don't see too much humor in it, but I don't know. How do you guys feel about ghosts? Is this a possible haunting interaction? I love that the guy played it safe. Thai people, notoriously superstitious people. I'm a big fan of superstitions myself. But, he had to go and pray, make merit just because he got spooked with it. Cool. Good on him. But what do you think? Prank or actual supernatural encounter? Let me know. All right. Now, guys, that'll do it for our Thailand news. We're heading over to the ASEAN region, the wider ASEAN region, for the rest of our show. And starting off first, we are heading to the Philippines. Now, there's a controversy surrounding a Filipino mayor fleeing the country. Now, the controversy around Alice Guo, a wanted Filipino mayor, has escalated as government officials claim she fled the country in July. Guo linked to a human trafficking investigation after a raid uncovered 1,000 workers and luxury items in her towns. She denies wrongdoing. Despite allegations, including being a possible Chinese spy, Guo insists she is a natural-born Filipino. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. vowed accountability, stating, "Heads will roll as an investigation into her escape begins." Guo's current whereabouts are uncertain, with reports suggesting she may have traveled to Indonesia. Well, this is a weird story. I've been covering this one for a few months now, and yeah, it seems to be escalating. So she was elected as mayor of this small town. Eventually, they found a sweatshop with a bunch of illegal workers, up to 1,000 ones, working in horrific conditions under her jurisdiction. She denies any association with that, and of course, you know, all sorts of crimes can happen in all sorts of jurisdictions, so there is some plausible deniability there. However, it doesn't look good when you flee the country. So, at the same time, who knows exactly what kind of games are being played behind these doors. Her name is Alice Guo. It's a Chinese name. She is insisting she is a Filipino natural-born citizen, but it seems like there are definitely questions about her loyalties, whether they are to the Philippines or to other nefarious organizations acting clandestinely. We'll keep you posted and let you know where her whereabouts are when she is tracked down and what kind of consequences she'll be facing as the investigation unfolds. But yeah, anyways, moving on to our next story where we're heading to Cambodia. Japanese nationals have been rescued from a forced labor situation in Cambodia. 12 Japanese nationals in Cambodia have been taken into protective custody after being lured to the country with false promises of high-paying jobs. They were allegedly forced to work in online scams in Pheu Thai Rayong province. The ringleaders have likely fled, leaving the workers behind. This incident follows a pattern of Japanese scam groups using Southeast Asian countries as bases, including a similar case last year where 25 Japanese men were deported from Cambodia for running a phone scam operation. Authorities are continuing to investigate the situation. This is scary stuff, and we've definitely talked about this before as well. It seems like Myanmar, Cambodia, these places have become hotbeds of scam centers, not for their own citizens, but for other people. So we've done stories of Indians, Thai people being lured into these situations where they think, okay, I'm going to get a high-paying job. They go, they see an office, whatever, and then the organization takes their passport for processing, never gives it back. So these people end up stuck in this situation, working off a debt or something like that forever. This time affecting the Japanese. So it's even appealing to wealthier nations, people coming from those places like Japan. So be careful, guys, with these job offers. If you see something that's too good to be true, might be, and you might be stuck in a situation with no respite, no escape, let's say. Make sure to contact your embassies. They're the ones who are able to sort of crack down on this for sure. Anyways, on to our last story. We're going to move off to our final one. Some interesting, happy news, I think. Now, in Singapore, we're going, as Australia approves a $19 billion solar project to power Singapore. Australia has approved a $19 billion solar power project, that's a tongue twister, the Australia-Asia Power Link, to export electricity to Singapore. The project, led by Sun Cable and backed by billionaire Mike Cannon-Brookes, aimed to generate 6 gigawatts of renewable energy, with 1/3 transmitted via an undersea cable to meet up to 15% of Singapore's energy needs by the early 2030s. The 12,000-hectare solar farm in the Northern Territory is expected to create 14,300 jobs. Despite environmental approval, the project faces further regulatory hurdles in Singapore and Indonesia. Nice. This is the kind of stuff where I feel like I'm living in the future, right? Australia has tons of desert. Now, one of the critiques of Australia recently is that they have all sorts of environmental regulations for their own borders, but what they do is they have massive coal mining operations where they sort of export their pollution to buyers in Southeast Asia and in China especially. So they produce tons of coal, even though they say, oh, it's bad for the environment. global warming, climate change, duh. But then they still pump out all of this coal and just ship it off to other parts of the world where it doesn't affect their environment, but creates an overall cumulative effect on the climate. But now, this is a much better use of resources, I believe. These solar cells, it's constant sunshine in Australia, so much desert. And now with the technology to be able to transfer that via cable, you can export that as well now too. So a cleaner source of energy, massive infrastructure project that's going to create a lot of jobs. Hopefully, this is a sign of the future of energy, and we can get more of this clean, renewable stuff going to save us all. My 2 cents. Let's see. Shano says, power cable. Good to see our Oz desert being put to good use, not just coal mining. I agree with that on Damien, too. Yeah, good news all around, and Singapore will be getting an ethical source of their energy. Ethics being a challenge in Singapore sometime. All right, guys, that'll do it for the news. Let me close it out, and then I'll get into the comments. Yes, guys, you can always go to thetiger.com to see more news updates throughout the day. We are constantly posting the goings-on over there. Also, head over to ASEANnow.com, sign up for an account, join the conversation with like-minded expats. It is the largest expat forum in Thailand, and we are spreading and growing swiftly throughout the greater ASEAN region as well. Follow us on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, blah, blah, blah. You will see different kinds of content on Instagram and TikTok. More chopped up, more refined, more edited. But also thank all of you for joining us live. Please like and subscribe if you haven't done that already. We'll see you tomorrow.